Hello, hello, friends. Welcome back to the tavern. Make sure all my stuff seems to be working here. All right. Hello. Welcome back to PyroKitty's Tavern. As always, I am April the PyroKitty, the tavern keeper here. And as we have been doing, we will be continuing our playthrough of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. While I was waiting for that starting ad break to finish up, I was looking up. We are very near the end of Act 1. There, I think, are 4 more technical quests, some shorter than others. So we're very near. There might be some side quests mixed in with those, but we're getting there. Act 2, if I remember correctly from my personal playthrough, is mostly companion quests and wrapping up the various companion storylines, which I'm not going to say is quick. There's just not very many quests themselves, but some of them are decently long because these are diving into companion quests and storylines. And then Act 3 is basically just endgame. There is no real oh geez. Come back. There it goes. There's no real exploration in Act 3. It is just barreling towards the end. Really, the end of Act 2 is kind of the point of no return as far as quests go. So, we completed pretty much every side quest and companion quest that we could up to this point. That I think I'll be bothering to do. I'm not going to bother to do the Warden Vault. It is purely for some loot that I don't need. So I'm not going to. It takes a while. It's annoying, frankly. So I'm not going to do it. Warden Gray's Final Repose is interesting, and we will do it. We, however, do not have access to the area yet. I don't think we will until Act 2, actually. We gain access during a character's personal quest. So we will complete this one. Warden Gray's Final Repose is interesting. So we'll do that one. Regrets of the Dreadwolf, we absolutely will do. We cannot complete it, however, until a certain point in the story. Welcome in, Scorchhold. I see that redeem, and there you go. And let me start I will put it on for 13 minutes. There's my timer for 13 minutes. No, you're fine, Scorch. I was just getting started, just getting my stuff together. I discovered we are very, very near the end of Act 1. There's 4 more main quests, and I don't think very many side quests. So, yeah, we're going to jump right on into Shades of the Blight and go talk to Morrigan at the Cobbled Swan in Docktown and get this show on the road. Just gonna make sure. I think I checked this before we signed off last time, but making sure I don't have any quests that did pop up. Nope, didn't think so. All right. Tumen Rathus. You are welcome, Scorch. I honestly don't have very many Twitch friends in the gaming sector of things, so I mostly know folks in art and science, so it's good to have somebody that I know in gaming as well. I have a couple personal friends that game on Twitch that I've known more years than I like to say. But yeah, you're a cool dude. So to go to Menrathis, we will take Nev and Lucanus. See if we can get some interesting dialogue between these two. All right. We're headed to the Cobbled Swan. I don't think anyone in here will have anything new to say to us, but we'll check it out.
Risen elven guards, darkspawn. As if the trouble with the cult wasn't enough.
You good?
It doesn't seem like they have much to say.
Greetings, Rook.
Hello, Rook.
That would be a big old negative. How about you, Dorian?
Rook!
That's a no. All right. Onwards to the Cobbled Swan.
Oh, it's a long story. The Lucerni wanted to change things. Free slaves. Give the non-mages more power. Ideas like that make some people uncomfortable. They wanted the Lucerni and those ideas gone.
But those ideas aren't gone. There's more of them than ever.
Always good to see you in here. Till next time.
All right. I think I've gotten everything
Nev,
interesting.
Those civil engineers you sent from Minrathis are a great help.
Who said that was me?
They went directly to Treviso's southern lock gates, which I remember mentioning to you the other day.
Look, I was owed a favor, and I've got nothing for an engineer to do. Now everything's square.
Whatever the reason, thank you.
Do not touch the treasure.
I think I'm all right on gold for the moment. Oh, get around.
Piercing, slashing, stabbing, smashing, crushing. Whatever you need, I have the weapon. Thank you for your interest.
All right. You have anything to say, Rana?
Nev told me about Treviso. I'm sorry to hear it. I don't have much, but if there's any way I can send aid, I know you travel there.
Anything new?
I'm sure you'll uncover something.
All right.
Come to think of it.
Pet the doggo. Gotta pet the doggo.
Exactly. But then it's here. Risen gods. Either. Even after the dragon attack, not a word. Either he's dead or he just doesn't care.
Listening to the gossip on the streets. Oh.
There's our targets. Go!
Rude. I'm not someone you want to mess with. What you gotta say?
People are still getting over demons pouring from the sky. Oh, what's next?
It's not gonna get much better, dude. Hate to break it to you. Loot.
Dogtown's never short on nightlife, is it? It's when the streets are most alive. And when I'm likely working.
The nightlife was always more Hilario's thing. He said I should get out more. Fulfilling crow contracts didn't count.
Welcome. Here for a drink, a meal. I'll be with you right away.
Alright.
Enjoy.
Well, are any of those the bonus ones? Yeah, might as well take that one. No, that's it. Alright.
Minrathis has gone to the dogs. The Archon doesn't care. I'm sure he cares a
I don't know if I've ever gone to this shop.
Ah, do you have an ailment? Or wish to prevent an ailment? I'll help with both.
Ooh, permanent boost. Always take those permanent boosts. Thank you.
You're well taken care of here.
And I think there's a few more shops up over here.
Masked mystery. Secrets of the Viper. Reliable source.
Huh. I'm not sure what's going on with the game audio. It's reverberating sometimes. Trying to think. Did I change any settings? I don't think I did. Make sure some setting didn't get changed. No. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. That's very strange, though. Yeah, I'll have to check into it for sure. I can't... I'm trying to think of, like, I didn't change anything.
I prefer having items delivered, but some things you must do yourself.
Need something? We'll make a deal.
No permanent increases.
Please,
oh, thank you.
Return again.
Feel free to browse.
Do need you, though.
I just work here. I don't know what everything does. Whatever you like, I'm sure it's fine.
I like her honesty. I just work here. I get it. I get it. Alright. Head on down to the Cobbled one.
Hey, yeah.
Now a dragon. What's happening to this city? I heard some people lost
So one more vendor down the stairs here, and then I'll do the story bit.
Good haul came in today. Worth trying.
Oh. Guess in this story beats, he's not a vendor yet.
Hey, Rook.
Alright. Let's talk to Morrigan.
Why did Morgan want to meet in Minrathous? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed. But today we have a guest, and she needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Llewellyn, the woman who led us all.
Andaran Artisan. Anethera. I wish we could be meeting without our gods threatening to blight the world.
That sure would be nice.
A blight that spreads wider with each passing heartbeat.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elganon and Gillenane. I won't let you down. Don't worry about me. Worry about the people you've recruited, and about the people depending on you.
Oh, just that all?
I only sealed the breach because I had people like Cassandra, Leliana, and Cullen with me from the start. Without Dorian's magic and Josephine's diplomacy, we never would have come together to stop Corypheus. Years later, I had to disband the Inquisition, but I never lost the friends who had gotten me through it all. Ultimately, they're the only ones you can really count on. Do right by them, and you'll find your way.
We've got the makings of a good team, I think.
We'll do our best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do her best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. She has not been idle while you assembled your team.
So this part gets kind of weird. They say that the South is besieged by Darkspawn and that the Inquisitor is the only one who's keeping it together. But they only reference that in these conversations with the Inquisitor. There are other missives and conversations that reference things in the South, and they never mention the Darkspawn besieging the South. It's very weird. It's like they didn't quite have their whole story put together throughout the teams that were making the missives and the teams that were making the conversations.
If the South is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morrigan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's vir of us, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet her.
That's the 13 minutes for the hat. Pause? No, stop. There we go. You're welcome. Do that a lot, especially when discussing your character history. Like, I don't mind them telling me the history. I just wished it would be consistent. Like, I think later on at some point, Harding, whose family is in the South, talks about planning, like, a picnic or some visit to go visit them. And, like, the whole discussion is just about planning a picnic and all of this. Like, it has no mention whatsoever of the fact that that the South is under threat of being annihilated by the Darkspawn. It's very strange. All right. Need an army, connections, or spies. Connections probably would be helpful.
I've been having trouble getting people in authority to listen to us. If you help with some of your political strength... My political strength? Tevinter hates me. The Venatori helped make sure of that. And while I have a few friends in the Wardens, their leadership hasn't much cared for me since we clashed at Adamant Fortress.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. She brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette? We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solus's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the Veil. To him. Somehow.
Solus is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
He is helping. I guess I'll say that one.
Right now, Solus is giving us the information we need to track down the gods.
Yes, he is a vital source of information and advice, just as he was to the Inquisition before. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many alliances do you think he has made and broken?
Solus was... important to me. If this statuette helps you understand him, if it uncovers something that... Honestly, I don't know. I wish I did.
But this feels like a part of him. And whatever he and I once were, I think, I hope, it might help you.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Don't forget the statue. Now I think we can do one more side quest that we've collected that statue.
We should take a break. Head back to the lighthouse for a bit.
Yeah, we'll head back to the lighthouse. Make sure nothing else popped up. Like I said, we're very close to the end of Act 1, so I don't want to miss any important side quests that pop up on the side. That would be bad.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling Wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move.
That's not good.
Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
How long do we have?
A day, a week? Darkspawn are charging through the deep roads. Makes it hard to get an accurate idea of where they are. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods.
Of course it doesn't.
Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus. See if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
Hey, you made it in the cauldron. You can also type !drop and put an emote after it, and it'll drop that emote. But you have to wait for it to reset. It takes about, I think 60 seconds is my reset time. You should see the cauldron move, and your number there will disappear out of it. All right, so that quest, the Siege of Weishaupt, is the end of Act 1. We will not be doing it just yet. We're going to do the Regrets of the Dreadwolf first. Now, this quest does have a number of spoilers for all of Dragon Age lore. I will give that as an overall warning. So, you have been warned. This is a lore-heavy quest. So, yeah, let's do some mighty lore dump. This is also one of my favorite quests. I know, I like to throw out a warning, though.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods.
You will learn that. Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dread Wolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods? Well, mine and Davrin's, and Rook's.
There they are, the Elven creators. I used to be jealous of the Dalish elves, because they got to learn all these stories I only barely knew. Now I get to see the truth of it. And it turns out, the truth is awful.
Yep.
Awful is an understatement. I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solus, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solus were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgernon over him. A betrayal.
Let's see.
I think I get where Mythal is coming from.
Really?
You've just finished some big war, everyone is exhausted, and now Elganon won't give up power? If Mythal sided with Solus, would Elganon have backed down?
Not a chance.
It would have led to another war. Mythal tried to keep the peace.
And Solus must see that, but still can't accept that she chose peaceful politics over his ideals.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solus wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solus? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dread Wolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solus would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
I think we've already found most of them, so this is going to be several cutscenes back to back. Yeah. Next cutscene.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evanures seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible.
I don't hear random music.
Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Oh, I wish I could believe you. I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evanures
All right.
and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
Did Mythal call Solus love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven
Ah,
gods were free
gotcha.
with their emotions.
That's happened to
They
me.
felt things deeply. The way they express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
Being with someone you're rebelling against doesn't sound like Solus.
He also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dread Wolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor. Not sure it matters.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made us something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled.
I am
onto
not
the
Canadian.
magic of the
I
Blight.
am American.
And when Andrul went
From
mad,
Florida,
Mythal took it from
specifically.
her and locked it away.
The
Until someone started using
horrible,
it again.
horrible state of Florida.
If there's one thing Solus loves, it's telling people they were wrong. And here he's got the perfect opportunity. Oh, Mythal, you thought your fellow gods were so great. If only you were as smart as me.
He got her attention. She definitely seemed angry at the end.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know.
It doesn't end well.
Was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon.
Nice.
The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Rook, as a fellow watcher, you know there are ways.
I'm not saying she couldn't help from beyond the grave. I'm just asking how.
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
The one good god got killed?
Solus goes to Mythal, the one semi-reasonable elven god, for help, and the other gods kill her for it. I imagine the Dreadwolf's rebellion heated up significantly after that.
Right. And Mythal wasn't there to keep the other gods in check anymore.
Well, it's not just that she died.
What do you mean, Tosh?
It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
Not anything too useful to us.
That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Alright, onward to the next cutscene. Elven lore dump number 3. I wish they did these in order, but they are not in order. Chronological order, I mean.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power!
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after.
Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
Right? That...
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were
Sorry about my
terrible,
chair
no
sounds.
question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Let's see.
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the Veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solus sprang his trap?
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong,
I will not clip my nails on stream.
The Chant of Light says that
Don't worry.
built for them the Golden City, the center of all
Loud
creation.
chairs all you'll have to handle here.
The Golden City was an ancient elven palace.
And maybe me
then
dropping
the Maker
things
didn't build it.
that I
The
can't
elves
promise won't happen.
The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
Let's see. So we question the entire Andrastian faith. My rook does not really believe in the Maker, but I don't think I'm going to go more with a put it aside. Here, do not give a personal view.
Lace, I don't think you'll ever fully know whether the Chant of Light is literally true or not. What matters is that, in its better moments, the Chantry encourages people to be kind and help each other.
What do we tell the Chantry about this? Do we tell them about this?
People are already questioning because of Elganon and Gillenane. It hasn't stopped them believing.
I guess people need that comfort. Even if some parts of it aren't totally true.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The Elven Gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah. Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Yes.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
All right. Next Elven lore dump. Go.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. when you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solus, to withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
After we finish these cutscenes, I do have some story that was not included in the game from the art book that I will share.
Elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... What?
We hid the truth for as long as we could, but yeah. Balara, Davrin, and I have secretly been spirits this whole time.
Not funny. I don't know. Sounds like something a rage demon would say.
You're going to confuse Tosh.
What? I wasn't listening. There weren't any dragons in this one.
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. You three are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
The entire idea is preposterous. Who would even believe us?
Exactly.
It does seem outlandish when taken out of context, I admit.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solus himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mythal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Titans.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw, with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mythal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented, if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
All right. Next elven lore dump, I think, is up the stairs. Yep. That's a familiar dagger.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war
order.
Solus made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Lace, what my people did to yours, that's unforgivable.
You don't need to apologize.
Well, someone should.
Our leaders attacked the Titans for their lyrium. Then, when the war turned against the elves, our leaders did this.
And when the war was over, they enslaved your ancestors. No. Solus, Mythal, and Elgar'nan are the ones who need to apologize.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solus.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solus regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of Lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
What
does
about
this mean for
Darkspawn?
Darkspawn? Should we be trying to help them?
I don't believe so. If the Blight is a corrupted dream, Darkspawn may be mindless manifestations of its anger.
Right. They're not people. We're never going to get through to them.
The Titans are a problem for later. We have Elgar'nan and Gillanane to deal with now.
And then I want Solus to look me in the eye and answer for what he did.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
All right. Last elven lore dump incoming.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god. The strength that I alone still carry.
All right, Scorch.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the elven people? They deserve it.
The elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
I'm really sad that they didn't bring back the voice of
Solus killed Mythal.
Kate Mulgrew for
After
that
all that?
scene.
Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solus woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Every big mistake Solus made is tied to Mythal. He sacrificed his life as a spirit to join her.
He sacrificed his morals when he created the dagger to stop the Titans.
When the other gods struck her down, he destroyed the Elven Empire to avenge her.
Then he wakes up in this world, where everything's gone but his mistakes. And there she is, alive.
And after all he's done, she sides against him again.
All these mistakes are his fault. And hers too. If she won't help him fix the world, of course he has to kill her.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mithal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the Veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mithal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solus thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
The bad news is that the god of lies and trickery is almost definitely preparing to betray us. The good news is that we've gone through his dirty laundry.
So, we know his motivations. You think we can set a trap of our own?
That's the hope.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
All right. So we are about to have ads run. Let me check one thing real quick. So I am actually going to go ahead and run the ads, throw up a quick BRB to run to the restroom really quickly, and then when I get, after the ads, I will read off this story bit I have that was inside, that sort of expanded on what we just learned lore-wise. So I will be back in just a few moments. I'm going to go ahead and run the ads while I run to the restroom, and then I'll be right back. Ooh, don't throw. Okay, one moment. Alright, I am back for those that have subs. Chair sounds, sorry. Come on, Azar. I know, Mama stood up. I'm back now, though. There you go. There you go. Alright, ads in about a minute and a half, and then I'm going to read this. So it has like little comic panels as well, but I don't want to risk showing it on screen. I don't know what I'm allowed to do without getting into trouble. So I'm just going to read the text. So this text comes from, well, I'll wait till the ads are over. Got 1 minute left. And 30 seconds to go. If you can hear the sound of my voice, unshrimp yourself, straighten out your back, stretch your neck, take a drink of water. It's always a good thing to do during the ads. Alright, and we are back. Thank you for sticking through the ads. So we are going to, I was going to read off this info that is in the Dragon Age Veilguard, no water, Dragon Age Veilguard art book, which I was very graciously gifted for the holidays. And in it, it has some, it's like a comic. I was going to show it on camera, but I don't want to risk getting any sort of copyright ding or anything. So I'm just going to read the text. So they call this the Black Codex. This is the blurb about it. There was a top secret document on BioWare's network that contained the objectively true history of Thedas, called the Black Codex. Each culture had its perspective, its own emphasis and style, and over time more was added and taken away. It was decided to reveal a lot of truth in this game, so early on we wanted to illustrate the Black Codex. This would help to act as a visual guide to the events that formed Thedas as we know it. So we just watched a bunch of lore dump here. So it talks about, you know, how the Elvan were spirits, how they did this to how they took the dreams away from the Titans. Essentially, they made the Titans tranquil. This is after the war with the Titans, how the Evanoris deemed themselves gods. This one's less to do with the lore. That's Soulless Regret. So in this one, you could really see the item that they reference in this comic that I'm going to read. So this is how Soulless formed the veil. He basically used blood magic and tied the veil itself to the Evanoris. So their life force is what's keeping the veil alive. Okay, so let me go ahead and read this comic. It's pretty short. The little text bubbles are not very long. So in the first one, it shows a scene with the spirits, the same shape that you see back on this first panel. Over here, them as these sort of wispy spirits. And they're just, it says, peaceful beginnings, gentle giant gardeners, and curious spirits. So the gentle giant gardeners refers to the Titans. The spirits saw the dwarves as they tended to the Titans, and they wanted to try making bodies for themselves. The spirits made physical bodies for themselves from the flesh of the Titans. The first elves were born, and the first war began. A brutal war raged on between the elves and the Titans, only ending when one elf, Soulless, rendered the Titans tranquil, capturing their spirits. The elves brought a powerful war trophy home. And you can actually see that trophy referenced in one of these panels. Do you see that cube up in the right here, over here? I don't know if you can see my cursor. Of course you can't see my cursor. But yeah, they brought home that, that's what was trapping the Titan souls. With the Titans rendered tranquil, dwarves lost their connection to magic. They fled into the bodies of their fallen hosts. And that would be why dwarves cannot dream. Their connection to magic, their connection to dreams was through the Titans, which the Titans were rendered tranquil. Then the elves, with the power that came from the captured Titan souls, the elves built the greatest empire Thedas would ever see. So they drew on the power from that cube that contained the souls of the Titans. Solus fought against the self-proclaimed gods, earning the title the Dread Wolf. So he was telling, he did not want them to be proclaimed gods. The gods drew upon the power of the Titan souls to gain more power. The imprisoned souls became twisted with rage, and that became the Blight. So these Titan souls that have been trapped in this artifact became twisted with rage and became the Blight. To contain the Blight outbreak, Solus performed a desperate blood magic ritual. He bound up the magic of the world behind a veil and powered it with the blood of the evil gods. So he contained both that artifact that contains the Blight, as well as the Evanuris behind the veil. Locked it all away. And the Evanuris are blighted. I mean, they've been sucking power from this cube of blight, basically. What remained of the Elven Empire collapsed. The early human empire of Tevinter discovered it in shambles. Eons later, the Blight reached out to power-hungry Tevinter magisters through their dreams, and they were lured to the Golden City. But the magisters found it already blackened by the Blight. So that would be Corypheus and the other, I forget what they're collectively called, but the ancient Tevinter magisters that let the Blight loose out of the veil. You and I are quite alike, except I'm a Call of Duty lore specialist from time to time. Yeah, I love Dragon Age lore. I was so happy when I got this book, and it had all this lore dump in it. So, the things that were not explained really were about the archdemons and how they tie to everything. And that kind of is, well, I mean, you see some archdemons in this game. And it's also why the veil has been weakened and why the Blight is seeping out. It's kind of a curse among itself. So, mortals on Thedas have been killing archdemons. We've killed 5 so far. But whenever an archdemon is killed, the Evanuris that is connected to it also dies. I think that's the implication. It never really explains it. But when that Evanuris dies, the hold keeping the veil closed gets weaker. So that's why Solus was wanting to transfer them to a more powerful prison and tear down the veil, but yeah, I'm a huge lore junkie, like big time. All right, so let's take Emmerich and Tash. Yeah. So now we are going to go meet with Morgan, and we are going to go find out a little bit more about the mythol side of this story.
Well met, Rook.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solus and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solus spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solus's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
The elven gods had access to magic beyond anything we can imagine.
To be sure, but it matters less what they possessed than what they were. You recall that the first elves were spirits, do you not? Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit, she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solus. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
What? That was like how Elganon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
All right. Let's get some info here.
So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
I don't think I'd recover from that.
Neither did I, at the start. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge, both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
All right.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
Oh, of course. Well, there's no reason you couldn't move from elven to human with spiritual transposition.
I wondered if my circumstances might seem less mysterious for an elven watcher of the dead.
It's still rare. I should be taking notes.
Rook just furiously taking notes in a notebook for her thesis or something.
You would have met Solus in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time, I thought Solus a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
But he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
Can you help?
Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon? Or Solus?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solus?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right.
All right.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes. The Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice.
Pick a mod.
And now, after finding his memories,
without
you
context.
have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solus?
Reborn or Exodus? Exodus.
I should ask you.
You're welcome.
Mythal knew Solus better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solus and Mythal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
All right. He's torn but doesn't know it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Solus talks a lot about what has to be done, being forced to make hard choices. But it's like he's trying to talk himself into it. I think, deep down, he doesn't entirely believe what he's saying.
'Tis exactly like the old wolf to tie himself into the most intricate knots. 'Tis not malice which made Solus your opponent, but conviction. A belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solus was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so
gotcha.
than either of you might realize.
I know very little from the Borderlands series. I know of it. I know the art style and character design and such like that, but not much is specifically about it. It's not quite the type of game I usually play. All right.
Well, that's not terrifying at all.
You have been thrust into the lives of gods. Fate will have its way, whether or without our permission.
Even more comforting, Morrigan.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solus recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you, Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
There's 2.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many.
There's the Morgan I
formed
know.
when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
All of that sounded great until survived the encounter.
You know Solus, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful
It's another franchise you place way too much of your life into.
Options against Elganon and Gillenane, or against the Dread Wolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
So I have Dragon Age, obviously. I also have poured way too much lore knowledge into Mass Effect. Yeah, I'm a huge Mass Effect lore junkie. Let's see. Those are the 2 biggies. But really, any game that has a lot of, like, story elements like those, so long as they have a gameplay that I somewhat enjoy or can watch Suntroa play along with, I just get hooked. I get hooked on story.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solus, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
So the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, I think they call that Shepard's Trilogy, is what I've heard the devs refer to it as. I potentially might stream it one day also. It's further down my list. With Mass Effect 5 being early in the dev process, I might stream the Legendary Edition closer to when we know more information about that. Maybe. Any suggestions?
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
About types of spirits.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solus is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mathal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
There is one more thing, if I may. Something whispered not by myself, but Mathal. The elves have learned many of the glories and horrors of ancient Elvenon. Yet your people live in this world now as the old elves never could. Know it as they could not. There is your strength. 'Tis why you shall surpass what came before one day.
Did Mathal see this? Is it a prediction?
A hope from a mother to her distant children, no less beloved than any before them.
So Andromeda, it's technically Mass Effect 4, but it's separate from the trilogy. Like it references things, but not specifics. I'm going to swap up my team here. It has a lot of hate focused towards it. We're going to go all elves. It has a lot of hate focused towards it. It was made with a different engine, so it has a slightly different look to it. It was made with Frostbite instead of Unreal. And people don't like the tone that it took in a way. It had a bit more, bit less serious of a tone than the original Shepard trilogy. I enjoyed it. Like Veilguard, it has its faults. It definitely has its faults. But I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the new things it introduced. Unfortunately, it's never going to get a direct sequel. It did not do very well. So it's not going to get a direct sequel. We're all hoping that come Mass Effect 5, even though it's implied to take place in the Milky Way galaxy and not continue the Andromeda story, it's hopeful that they'll at least try to tie up some of the loose ends that they left open. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it by any means. I enjoyed the characters. I always know when I enjoy characters because I go on months-long binges reading fanfic about them. And I went on a several months-long binge reading fanfics for Andromeda, so I know they really need a win, and unfortunately they would have a win if it weren't for stupid EA, which I think EA is finally slowly starting to get the picture that it just needs to leave BioWare alone. Just let them make their games without pushing them into a cookie cutter that they're not made for. They started to get that with this, but with Veilguard, but I think it was too late. The development hell had already taken its toll. Any new dialogue? No. All right, let's go face Mythal. I know Mass Effect has some old names working on it, some classic Mass Effect workers, and they have said outright that it will follow more cohesive with the Mass Effect Shepard trilogy. So, I mean, at least Mass Effect has always been a lot more, I'll say, cohesive of a series versus Dragon Age. Every Dragon Age game has been different than the previous one. Mass Effect, they've all been pretty similar to each other. Except for Andromeda, the tone was a little lighter. but otherwise they've been pretty similar. So hopefully Mass Effect will be that huge win that it needs to be. Alright, so we're gonna go and talk to Mythal. Well, the fragment of Mythal in here. And I know from my personal game that she has, she's gonna ask some questions and you have to have very specific answers. So thankfully I know what those very specific answers are, but they're easy to come up with. She's a god. This is a memory of her at the point in time when she was still a god. How would a god think? It's kind of all you need to know. She is benevolent and selfish. To a point.
A god's fragment, sharper than the whole. Prevail, or be sundered completely.
We're getting close to where Morrigan said that other fragment of Mythal was.
Alright, I still gotta look around for loot, but I don't remember there being a whole lot here. Okay. There's a chest up there, but I can't get to that until after these events. Alright. Let me look one thing up real quick. There's two ways this could go, and both end the same. But I want to make sure I pick the right way. For the best outcome. There we go. This is a critical choice that will heavily influence which ending we get. And I played through it both ways. I reloaded a save so I could play it both ways, and I can't remember which way was the best. Okay. I now have my answer. And now we need to go give her her answers.
That has to be her.
Mythal herself. There's so much we could learn if... Do you think she might talk to us instead of attacking?
Guess we'll find out.
Let's find out.
You are Rook.
Cutscene.
I have seen you and your companions. I never again expected to see my children in the Dreadwolf's crossroads. And you know who I am.
Mythal.
The part of me that survived betrayal by the rest of the Evanuris, if this can be called surviving. Solas. He drew me from the dagger that struck me down.
I wish they would have given her a bit more epic of an appearance in this scene.
I cannot return to the world, and even the true Fade is denied me. All I can do is watch. Have you come to seek the blessing of your god? Or did you come to ask your god to sacrifice herself to help you defeat the monsters Elganon and Gillenane have become?
Alright. First one is I want your help.
I came here to ask for your help. The gods have endangered the world, and...
You dare explain to me what they are doing? You are 1,000 years
At least
from
a
knowing the
fancier
proper words.
costume.
We saw Solas'
Something a bit
memories,
flashy.
his regrets.
You saw the recollection he cultivated like a tree, twisting to catch the sun. You wish for my help? Convince me.
Alright,
Make
let's
your
convince.
case, and I will yield my essence willingly to help you against Elganon and Gillenane. Fail, and I shall kill you for wasting my time, or you will kill me and obtain my essence in doing so. A harder-edged, simpler version. It has been centuries since a petitioner stood before me, so why should I help you?
Alright. So we have to pick only 3 of these, I think we have to get.
You can't want Elganon and Gillenane to rule the world. Not after what they did to you.
I ruled alongside them for centuries. I bear them no love now, and they were ever flawed, as all rulers are. Yet they were better than the others who threatened your ancestors. Monsters like the Titans, or selfish fools like Anaris. Set the Blight aside, and tell me why I should help you topple your own gods.
She knew how dangerous the Blight was.
How am I supposed to just set the Blight aside?
By making an argument not related to it, as I asked you to.
The Blight is a core part of who they are, and I don't think you're in favor of it.
Not bad, but not enough. Let us speak of something else.
Alright. So, more about the Blight.
If I don't stop the gods, the whole world will be corrupted by the Blight.
That is why you must succeed, so tell me why I must help you.
We know the truth about the Blight. We know it came from the imprisoned dreams of the Titans after you and Solus defeated them.
And?
You stood against it.
Stopping the Blight mattered enough for you to talk with Solus, even after he rebelled against you. It mattered enough for you to stand against the other gods.
And I was struck down for doing so, betrayed by those I had ruled beside for centuries.
You made the difficult choice to protect your home, because it was the right thing to do. Help me do the same.
If you wish to prove your worth, you must do better than that.
Alright. And we are worthy.
I am worthy of your help.
That is for me to judge.
I am fighting to protect this world.
Any petty tyrant can fight those who come to their land and claim to be protecting their people. What is a protector to you?
Building a safe place.
It's making a place that's safe for everyone. That means defending against danger, but it also means building a strong community that works together for the common good.
And what have you built?
Look at my team. We're not just hired blades. We started as strangers and grew together into a family.
My patience wears thin. Choose your next words carefully. Why must I give myself over to you?
Solus is helping me.
Solus is using you. Besides, why should I esteem the Dreadwolf's approbation? He rebelled against me.
But the two of you stayed close.
Until he killed the tattered fragment of me.
I don't think these were the optimal choices. But I think we'll still get there.
He keeps me here, yet has not visited since waking from his slumber. Tell me this. What should I have done when Solus turned against me after all we had been to one another?
Solus made his choice, you made yours. It might have been cleaner for you to move on from him completely, instead of keeping your feelings for him.
Just like that? Do you feel so little that you could follow such a path with someone you had known for centuries?
You asked me what you should have done, not what I would have done.
Your arguments are compelling. I find you worthy, Rook. I have spent thousands of years watching. I shall miss that. But if what I am can protect the innocent and smite the guilty, this is what remains of me. I give it to you freely. Use it to protect this world with kindness when possible and cunning when necessary.
I will. Thank you.
I offer one further boon. I cannot enter the physical world or the pure Fade, but in this place, I still carry some power. Evil has intruded here. The Blight, seeded by Elganon and Gillenane. Find it, and when you meet your greatest challenge, I will fly one last time.
The The essence of the Protector. Methalinast. Like a piece of the sun. I've never felt something so alive.
And I'm gonna put it in my pocket.
And now, how to use it. God knows her moment. At least her essence does. When the time comes, we'll be ready.
So if we had not impressed her, we would have had to fight her in dragon aspect. A fragment of Mythal found the team worthy of her power and willingly surrendered her essence. That power now rests safely with the team, ready for when they find a way to use it to stop Elgar'nan and Ghilanane, or any other god who might strike.
And it didn't turn into a fight.
Not sure what we do with it just yet, but if Morrigan's telling the truth, it'll come in handy at some point.
But yeah, if we had not impressed her, that would have turned into a dragon fight. But we can still come down here and get the loot that would have come from the dragon fight. I don't think it's up this... No, it's on the other side. Make sure I'm not missing anything. But yeah, I wish they would have put her in some fancy clothes or something. It was like I ran into her in her pajamas. Okay. There are always mods. Not sure how many have been made for this game yet. I actually haven't checked, surprisingly. I usually am one to heavily mod my games. Mythal's Grace. A medallion bearing the symbol of Mythal, ringed with the notes of a song inscribed in spectral notation, music that cannot be heard in this world. And we have a new missive. Message from the front, the fight for the South. Rook. Though the circumstances prompting our meeting were perhaps not what either of us would have chosen, I am glad we did meet. I'd heard of you from Varric, of course, and Harding spoke, and continues to speak, highly of you. However, the greatest vote of confidence came from Morrigan. She's always had a knack for spotting those who might shift the foundations of the world, even if they don't know it yet. So it was she who suggested we meet, and as always, heeding her counsel proved to be the wisest decision. Unfortunately, I send grim tidings. The echoes of Solus's ritual and the escape of the gods ring across the south, and the smell of war is heavy in the air. In Orlais, a splinter faction of the nobility has made common cause with the Venatori and launched an assault on both the royal forces of Orlais and the border keeps of Ferelden. Ontom corsairs harass shipping out of Ostwick, and in the far southern wilds, blight has emerged once more. Darkspawn in great numbers have been spotted near the ruins of Ostagar. But I told you to leave the south to me, and I stand by that. I share this news not to ask for help, but to remind you that you and your people are not alone. The gods stir up the greatest evils in Thedas, yet its people stand stalwart and resolute. Take care of the gods in the north, and I'll make sure that the south handles itself. And when this is all over, we'll drink to victory. First round's on me. Yours, the Inquisitor. Yeah. Yeah, there's a few. There's a few. I have yet to check. Well, I know, I take that back. I did look at them first thing when the game came out, but of course there were very few. And most of them were just the basic lighting sort of mods. But the game had just come out, so that's expected. I will have to peruse the 1,500 options. Let's see. And there's our chest. Loot. All right. What is our next quest? I think now we can probably go and fight these folks. Let's see. Do I want to wait or do I want to go ahead and murder? Let's go ahead and murder. So we're going to go fight some mini bosses. What team do I got? What team? Let's swap out our team here. We'll bring Emmerich. And... no, you know what? We'll bring Harding and Tosh. Yeah. Now that we have allied with Mythal, the end of this quest, she actually will help us. But not with these bosses. With the end of this quest boss. Alright. Look, isn't it cool?
That explains the bones.
Undead. Gotta be undead. And this will test us just in their pure numbers.
Making the rest of us look bad, bro.
Yeah, I know it.
The Revenant's awake. This one's even stronger.
All right.
Get ready.
Let's break some combos out here.
Loosen the lid for you.
What? It's drawing power from the Fade Tear.
Yeah,
Watch yourself.
yeah.
Let's heal it up.
A wisp of what was.
Ready. Ready to go again.
All right. Oh, I hate the ones that blind me. All right. You gotta die. That's just annoying, sir. Ah.
Everybody good? It's gone. And the Fade Tear too. That'll slow down the gods' plans, at least on this island.
All right.
They're gone. The Fade Tear and that Revenant. All that's left is its essence. Better get this where it's needed.
Got some loot to collect. I like the look of this one. All of the crystals up there. Master of Craft. A pantomime theater mask of June. In narrative, he is the means and the tools by which needs are met or obstacles conquered. His will hides the actions of others. Loot. Oh, I missed some loot, guys. Almost fell off the edge of the abyss for it, but I got it. I got it. It's all good, guys. We got the,
You and your mother
like,
talk about
10
stuff
gold.
a lot. She's my mom. I don't know what I'd do without her. Just knowing she's out there, ready with a hug, makes the world seem brighter, you know? Shaitan not a hugger?
Our horns would get tangled up.
Alright. On to the next challenge. Here we are. Let's go fight another mini-boss. Aw, man. I don't want to fight you. You're just in my way. What's back here? Oh. The Father of Retribution, a pantomime theater mask of Elgar'nan. In narrative, he represents promise before acceptance, the power before the price, the moment of choice that precedes justice or vengeance, rise or fall. All right.
Another of those blighted fade tears. We'll close this one too, but let's stay on our guard.
Corruption? Undead? I'd say we found out who's responsible.
All right. Come on.
See that? Here it comes.
Slaughter of the Pillars.
Good shot. That had to hurt. Damn thing's healing itself again.
That should weaken it.
No healing. Fight over. I don't want to wait for you to heal and go through the second phase. I love defeating things before they hit second phase.
Gone, and the Revenant left its essence behind like before. These Revenants aren't just undead. Better get this where it's needed.
All right. I was about to say, there should be a chest around here somewhere. I need my gold. That wasn't very much gold. All right. Where's the next one? Here.
Beware the ancient that sleeps here, dweller. Death and blight have not tempered its rage.
It's alright, we'll be good. We'll be good.
Corruption? Undead? I'd say we found out who's responsible.
Alright, wake up.
Better be ready.
Wakey, wakey. Eggs and bakey.
Watch out. Don't
Also
let it touch
called
you.
magic to the face.
It's down. And it's taking the thick.
That should weaken
Ah.
it.
No. No.
Nice hit, Brooke.
That should weaken it.
No. I said no. Haha. Alright. Have a good night. See See you later, Scorch.
Another Fade Tear closed, another Revenant destroyed.
I'll probably be
Another
wrapping up
essence
in not too terribly
That
much
makes
longer.
3 essences.
I'm starting to
We
get
should start
hungry
looking
for
for some
dinner
way to use
myself.
them. It's gone. And the Fade Tear too. That'll slow down the gods' plans, at least on this island. The Revenant's essence feels darker, more powerful. It must be protecting something big. We should look around for a door it might fit.
All right, and that door is back on the center island here. We are about to have some ads run. Actually, let me see. Suntroa just got off work. And when he gets home, we're going to have to feed Azar. Alright, I am going to go ahead and... I don't have enough snoozes to wait. So I'm going to go ahead and run the 3-minute ad. And then do this next fight. And then I will have to take a brief break. Well, actually no. We might hop off after that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run my ad here. Oh. Wrong screen. Alright. We will be back in 3 minutes. I will not play during those 3 minutes. Don't worry. I'll be on pause here. So I'm going to go ahead and get those ads out of the way. And then we're going to go and fight this corruption heart or whatever they call it. So we will be right back. Thank you for waiting and supporting the channel during the ads. And for those of you who can still hear me, thank you for your sub. I'm just going to clear out some dots here real quick. Hold on to those for a little bit. There we go. Making sure my map, not too worried about the chests. Just want to make sure I get all of the statues one there. Oh, that's right. It's in the other part of it that I don't access yet. All right. Look at my journal here. So I cannot do these two. Well, I'm not going to do that one, but I can't do this one just yet. We're going to go ahead and knock out Heart of Corruption. This should be a pretty fun fight. We will knock that out. Ad break ends in about 1 minute, and then we'll get going on this. I might start the Siege of Weishaupt. Wait. No, that will be for our Sunday stream. Check my rankings. All right. Ads end in 30 seconds. Everybody take a sip of water. Stretch if you can. Unshrimp yourself. Oh. I tabbed away and ad is over. All right. Let's go fight the Heart of Corruption here. We should... Who do I still have? I have... Yeah, we'll bring this party. Make sure I don't have any talky bits. No. Alright. Let's go.
There. That must be why the revenants were raised, to keep that door sealed. Time to see what the gods are hiding in there.
I'm sure it's nothing pleasant. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of red. Look at that. We got blight tendrils and...
Light up ahead.
The Lady of Fortune. A pantomime theater mask of Andruil. To narrative, she is purpose. She grants strength of clarity, but blindness to trickery. Blood and force, spare us the moment we become your prey. All right.
More blight. There's no end to it.
That's a lot of blight.
Feel it down there. Ready?
Wouldn't miss it.
All right, let's go. What do we got? What do we got?
Eyes up, weapons ready.
We've got... You ready? A blighted dragon.
There. He's been feeding on the blight.
Oh, it's Oogie.
Destroy it before the corruption eats us alive.
Mythal! She will help us with the fight. Let's get rid of that shield. How about it? Take her down, Mythal. All right.
Still smell you.
Go down. Ah! Let's see, let's see. There we go. dragon down.
Now let's see what they've got.
Corruption staunched. The Evanura cease their gnawing. The crossroads heals. A sanctum renewed, dweller, as is needed.
That was just a fragment of Mythal? Can you imagine all of her?
When the team came face to face with the blighted dragon sent by the gods to corrupt the crossroads, they did not face it alone. A piece of Mythal's essence helped them defeat the monster. The caretaker is grateful that Elgar'nan and Gilnenain's most insidious influence has been cleansed. Right. Make sure we're not. So that's where we came in. I don't see anything else in here. And now the important part. Up here, we need calm before the storm. I come here sometimes when I need to be myself, not Solus's friend Felisan, not the slow arrow of the rebellion, just me. He hasn't been right since what happened with Mythal. He's planning something with the dagger. And if it were a good idea, he'd have told me. Damn it, Solus. I'm with you as long as we're protecting the innocent from the powerful, but you make it hard sometimes. Felisan. This is what we came for.
Fascinating. Unforeseen.
Who are you?
Must not reveal. Must not alarm. Soon, though. Very soon.
So now, I think we have everything we need for the best possible outcome to the game.
To other shores.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Going to check our dialogue here. Nothing to say. Alright. We're going to head back to the lighthouse. And then I'm going to go ahead and save and hop off. Getting a bit hungry for dinner, and don't want to start the Siege of Weishaupt until we have a whole session that we could play. Let me make sure I don't have any quests to pick up here. Oh, let's go talk to Harding. I already know who I'm going to raid over to. I'm going to try to raid into Astro Canuck. He is streaming the test flight of the Starship Falcon Heavy, I believe. And we'll go check that out.
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend? The Shaper didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta. Or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
Wish we had time to head down there and show them what you can do.
I don't think that would have helped.
But think how satisfying it would be.
Yeah. What's satisfying about being thrown in a Deep Roads prison? Orzammar takes its heritage very seriously.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Eh?
There is another great Tig, the original capital of the dwarves, Kalsharak. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're close to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Sorry, guys. Give me just a moment. I'm looking at who we can raid. Astro Canuck is on, but he is currently just has words on stream going until closer to the launch time. Who else is streaming it, though? I know who we could go. Let's see. Let's talk about Kalsharok.
I'm curious about Kalsharok's isolation. The dwarves took heavy losses during the first blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the deep roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kalsharok was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
But they didn't die. The rumors...
That the dwarves of Kalsharok had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask. Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kalsharok doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
All right, what do we do?
How do we get in touch with these Kalsharok dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have that to do. Let me see if I can upgrade the...
Strength earns mastery.
Not quite enough. All right, anyone else have anything to say? No. All right, so when we start back on Sunday, we will start with Harding's quest, The Waiting Stone, where we go do our, I think our first visit to Kalsharok. I want to say we go back another time. All right. Let me save. Sorry about the chair sounds. Sorry. It's so loud. Why is my chair so loud? All right. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to those that just hung out. Any new followers that might have come and hung out. Thank you so much. But hang on just a few more moments. We are going to go raid and watch some space science. Like I said, the... what is it called? The Starship Super Heavy Test Flight 7 is today at... It was at 5, but I think it got pushed back. Yeah, the launch got pushed back to 5:37. So Astro is streaming, but he's just got words on stream up until 5. So that's one option. I have another space scientist, though, that is also streaming it. Let me see what they are doing. Mahoodles. Okay, yeah, we'll raid into Mahoodles. I don't think I've ever raided into her before. I don't think. Let's try it. You have not. I haven't rated them before, I don't think. So yeah, we're gonna hop in over there at I think 5:37 will be this launch, and she's watching it. She is a space scientist, and she has some pretty cool streams. So let's head on over. Thank you all so much for joining. I will see you all again on Sunday, where I do believe we will finish Act 1 of the Veilguard. Alright, here's my raid calls. Alright, and I will see you over there. I hope you all have a great day, a great week, and I will see you on Sunday.